Young. And the opening tap controlled by Duke. Vanessa DeJesus with possession, 2 and white.
And you're going to see Troy in man-to-man. They will mix up their defenses, but they want to keep Duke out of the paint and off the boards.
Foul inside, and the personal called against Johnson. That's her first. See the starting 5, and we're talking about transfers. Celeste Taylor coming in from Texas, former McDonald's All-American. And Christy, that will be a consistent theme as we go through this season with all the new faces that have simply moved to different leagues, and sometimes even within the same conferences, players jumping ship.
It's the world of college athletics that we live in now. We've even got 2 former teammates going off against one another here this afternoon.
One more free throw coming. Balagoon started her career at Georgia Tech, then went to Louisville, now at Duke. First player to suit up for 3 different ACC schools. She'll claim the rebound and a fresh 20. Taylor off the bounce, boxed off, and 10 to shoot for Duke. Devils undefeated, a good start. Shooting the 3 at a high level. Taylor off glass, no good. The rebound claimed by Troy, and that was Dunlap with the board. Starting 5 for the Trojans. They're 3-2, a loss to Missouri. Schedule's been amped up, trying to get back to the tournament. They don't want to be a 15 seed again. And led by Karanga, an early bucket, and Troy's on top.
Well, if you haven't followed Troy, buckle up, because this is a team, as Roy mentioned, wants to shoot quick. The first 6 to 8 seconds. The first good look, that shot's going up.
3-ball back iron off the mark was DeJesus. Williams hit the deck. Fresh 20 again for Duke. Gordon gets a touch. The elbow J is short.
And if you're Troy, that's what you want to do against Lexi Gordon. Run her off the 3-point line. We've already talked about how good she has been from 3. Make her score in different ways.
By the way, happy Thanksgiving. Great to be working with you again. Inside, a good start for Jasmine Robinson. Troy grabs a 4-0 lead. You had turkey on Thanksgiving, right?
Absolutely.
Just double checking. I worked with Brooke Weisbrod last Sunday. No mention of turkey for her holiday season, and I was just dumbfounded. 3-pointer, there it is for Lexi Gordon. That's what she does best.
Well, if you're going to switch out, you've got to switch up and into that shooting pocket for Gordon, because she's getting those feet set. That shot's going off quick.
You're talking about, what, 9 new faces here in Durham this go around. 3 off glass. First for Karanga this season.
I guess the banks are open in Durham here on Sunday.
She's got 5, now 1 of 2 from downtown this year. She's known for her rebounding, not the outside J. Now, we mentioned this could be a sneaky good matchup. It certainly has that vibe right out of the gate. Taylor, the response.
Taylor's just that Swiss Army knife, in my opinion, for Duke. She's playing the defense, she's rebounding, and she can score from 3 or off the bounce.
Dunlap with a mid-range, no good. And track bomb by Taylor. By the transition bucket inside of Balagoon. High-octane start for both sides. We're tied at 7. Johnson gets it back. Tracked down by Karanga. And the spin, 9-7. Karanga with 7 early points.
And that's Troy at their best. They put it up quickly because they know some of their best offense is coming on those second chance opportunities.
It's one of the top rebounding teams in the country, not only this season, the last 2 years as well. That really is their offense. Gordon off the mark. And Troy grabs the rebound, the loose basketball. Top of the key, open is Robinson and an air ball.
Well, I had the chance to ask Coach Rigby yesterday about shot selection, and she said, hey, as long as it's an open look in those first 6 to 8 seconds, I want it going up because we know that our bread and butter is the second chance opportunity. They're a really quick shot, unfortunately, no rim to be able to rebound.
Yeah, that's their method of operation. If I'm a player, my head coach recruits me and says, yep, we want to get it up quick, we want to get it up early and often. Our goal is to score 120 points. I kind of want to play for that coach. That sounds good to me.
Absolutely. I wish my coach would have told me.
Right. Balagoon, mid-range.
I'm not sure what Balagoon had for Thanksgiving dinner, but it's boding well for Duke. The young lady is scoring. She just looks so much more aggressive and confident right now with the ball in her hands.
The Jesus picks up the personal. Robinson to the stripe. 73% this season for number 4 for Troy. Mentioned the Trojans coming off that loss in Columbia, Missouri against the Mizzou Tigers. They were competitive. I don't know, Christy, if they ran out of gas in that game, but your assessment and kind of what you saw there.
I thought it was a 6-minute spurt in the third quarter where they did not make a field goal that really separated Mizzou from them. To Troy's credit, they were never out of the game. That's what's remarkable. They go 6 minutes, and yet they still had a chance down the stretch. I think that's key for Troy today. They've got to minimize the mistakes, yes, but they can't have a lull, especially that long against a quality team in Duke.
Shayeann Day-Wilson on the floor for the first time. She's got it.
This is a dynamic young playmaker for Duke. She's instant offense when she comes in off the bench.
Karanga taps it to a teammate. That was Johnson. High ball screen, long 2 on the way. Poked away by Karanga. She'll save it again, but the foot on the line. Back to Duke. Well, the pace in this one certainly is entertaining to start.
Absolutely. And for Troy, they're going to play everybody that's stressed out. 12 players today. They're going to get up and down. And so these players are coming in and pushing tempo, trying to be aggressive on defense, force turnovers, as we just saw.
And that really has been a focal point for Kara Lawson and company, going back to their comeback win here at home against App State right before Thanksgiving. Unforced errors in that first half. App State had the lead at halftime before a 33-point third quarter changed the complexion of that one.
Well, I get the feel from Duke that their mojo just really picks up when they see that ball go in, and they're a selfless team. They're looking for the best shot, but they're sharing the ball extremely well. And during their run against App State, everybody was getting into action, but I got to say once again about Day-Wilson was such a spark plug for them offensively in the last 2 games, as we see her knock down the 3.
I love it when you're on cue with your points. That was perfect. First lead for the Blue Devils, 12-10. Harris off the mark. Balagoon, transition, 3-on-2. Outside to Gordon. Taylor with a rebound. Day-Wilson left open. Top of the key, and it's money.
Duke giving Troy a little piece of their own medicine with second chance opportunities. And I just love the spark that Day-Wilson gives to this offense as well as defense when she comes on the floor.
That's 6 points off the bench in about a minute and a half. And an air ball by the Trojans gives it back to Duke after this timeout. Now the Blue Devils getting it done. Day-Wilson, Christie's favorite. The step back is good. She's got 6, and Duke leads it by 5.
Really?
They're goldfish. I always go for the handful. I got about 73 here.
I get more than 73.
Go for the handful.
Unjunk your sleep at Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale. Right now, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase, up to a $499 value. Or save $300 on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses and get a $300 instant gift. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the perfect bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm.
Back in Durham, you see Janiyah Sandifer, the senior out of Nashville, Tennessee, guard for the Trojans. Her family, an interesting story to tell, especially when you look at this Troy program and kind of how it's built on opportunity.
You mentioned Sandifer. Her mom wrote a book, The Odds Stacked Against Me. Shout out to Carletha Baird, the author, and Sandifer's mom. And it's about obviously being a single mom, but in there's a chapter about Sandifer receiving a full athletic scholarship to Troy and how it has changed not only Sandifer's life, but the entire family. And that is Shanda Rigby's mission as a head coach. She wants to offer scholarships to first-generation student athletes because she sees how it changes the trajectory not only for these young women, but for the entire family.
That's what this program has been built on. Tremendous success in the Sun Belt. Inside and off the mark was Hartsfield. Her first touch and a foul underneath. Shanda Rigby arrives at Troy. Program was struggled next to last in RPI. First 2 seasons, a bit of a struggle. Last 8 has been borderline elite. We mentioned the back-to-back trips to the NCAA tournament. Certainly significant. Playing a game like this, the thought is let's try to boost our resume so that we can improve our seeding and improve our chances of advancing in postseason play.
Well, any coach will tell you you've got to play. Defense has to travel to have a chance to win. But when you're rebounding on top of defense, you've got a chance to win night in and night out. And that's been Shanda Rigby's formula for turning this Troy program around.
Downs the bucket, a 1-possession game. 6 minutes into our first quarter. Christy Thomas-Cuddy and Roy Philpott. Here at Cameron Indoor. 3-pointer too strong. The rebound by Taylor. Came down awkwardly, no whistle. And a turnover by the Trojans.
Great job by Lexi Gordon to get back in transition. We've said Troy wants to push tempo. So key for Duke when they give up the rebound is to get back.
Maya Finkley off the mark with a point-blank opportunity. Moronga double team, step back. Well defended by Taylor.
So we talked about how quickly Troy wants to shoot. But if they don't get that rebound, it leads to runouts. And right now, Duke's on fire from deep.
Balagoon with 7. Lead swells to 6. And Troy in an early danger zone on the road. Largest lead for Duke. Runner is short. And a foul called as Day Wilson hit the deck pretty hard. First on Hartsfield. One more look at that triple.
Missed shots leads to runouts, and Duke wants to get it up just as quickly. And what I'm loving right now is you've got a rim runner, which is pulling defense to the paint, and you've got shooters spotting up around the outside.
Sunday after Thanksgiving, we spoke with Coach Lawson earlier today, and the team got together with their families that were close by, going back to Thursday to celebrate. Day Wilson off the mark. And she made a point to tell us, too, we've got a lot of student athletes on our roster where families may not be close. So it was important for us to make sure that we were all together. Little team building camaraderie and chemistry. You got all these new players, new faces, new personalities. Christy, as a former coach, important. Try to build that up as early in the season as you can.
Well, chemistry, culture, it never stops. Because as soon as you stop working at it and building towards it, you've got issues. And so 7 transfers for Duke. This is going to be an ongoing process throughout the season.
Offensive foul. Amber Leggett off the bench and leading scorer picks up the personal.
Leggett tracks down that loose ball, drops the shoulder. Great call by the official.
What's the thinking bringing your top scorer off the bench for Troy?
A lot of times it's that burst of energy. It's that next wave. And we know she's going to play a lot of minutes because that's the philosophy of Troy. I think it's also Leggett's a little bit more of a post player. And so between Dunlap as well as Moronga, it's tough to break into that starting lineup.
An 8-point lead. Day Wilson with 8 points off the Duke bench. Open look, Balagoon.
Troy got lucky there, but there was a miscommunication on matching up. Duke just couldn't convert.
Hartsfield off glass, no good. She'll get it back. And inside to Leggett, her first bucket.
One thing about Troy, there's not going to be a panic. They went down 8. They're just going to stay true to who they are and what they do, and that is shoot quick and crash the glass.
Love the pace. Open look for Taylor. Short. Karanga the board. She's got 7 points and 5 rebounds already. Leggett no good. Volker cleans the glass. No look dime. Inside. Beautifully executed. Finkley.
And with the assist, Dave Wilson yet again.
Lead is back to 8. 6-second differential between the clocks. Karanga averaging a double-double. Inside. 9 points, 5 boards for number 2 for Troy.
I love the deliberate move by Karanga. She knows she's a little undersized there. Used her body to her own advantage.
Transfer out of Tyler Junior College. Shot clock is off. Devils have to hurry. And Taylor missing the mid-range. Town to start this season. And the Devils trying to stay undefeated. Got the ACC Big Ten Challenge coming up. Iowa's going to be in town, and Caitlin Clark. And some really good matchups to start this season. Out of conference and an offensive foul on the attempted screen. That's Leggett, her second. So that's a story for the leading scorer for Troy.
It is, except that they play a lot of players a lot of minutes. And so, I mean, you're seeing right now, Shayeann Rigby is not making a substitution right now, leaving her leading scorer on the floor.
Day Wilson feeling it, and it's all net from downtown. She's got 11.
Yeah, at some point, Troy's going to have to start going over the top of those on-ball screens because Duke's on fire from deep.
Robinson off the bounce, out of control, turnover. 5th turnover for the Trojans.
Duke running their horns action, little pick-the-picker action, trying to get Lexi Gordon for the 3, but definitely shuffled those feet.
All right, that's new vernacular for me to start basketball season. I'm used to screen the screener, pick the picker. I need that documented on what exactly that looks like so we can explain that in layman's terms to everybody.
I think back when I grew up, it was a pick. It wasn't a screen. So to all my Alabama people, it's pick the picker.
Pick the picker.
To basketball aficionados like yourself, Roy,
right.
It's screen the screener.
I'm not an aficionado of anything, but I appreciate the kind words. Trojans turn it over. I too was wondering, post-Thanksgiving as we see trapping zone pressure here. You come out a little rusty off the holiday. Good look inside. Good child. Couldn't finish. But, I mean, that's an issue at times. 18 to 22-year-olds, you can be a little rusty. Shot is there for Robinson.
Well, if you're talking about Troy, you mentioned they played in Columbia, Missouri against Mizzou on Tuesday. They bussed to St. Louis after the game, got to the hotel at 12:30, flew out from St. Louis back to Atlanta they left the hotel at 4:30, so these young ladies got 4 hours of sleep, then bussed home to Troy. Had the rest of the afternoon, or the rest of the day off, and then yesterday morning, up at 7, bussed to Atlanta again to fly here into Raleigh. It's a lot of wear and tear on these young ladies.
I didn't hear any mention of turkey, dressing, or Thanksgiving celebrations. I assume that happened somewhere along the way.
They did. They went over to assistant coach Graff's house, and they said there was a feast to be had.
A feast to be had, a feast inside for Jade Williams. And Duke having its way with the Trojans so far.
I love the patience of Duke in the half court, though. Doesn't matter what defense Troy's thrown at them. They've been deliberate, and they've gotten good percentage, or good high percentage looks.
Largest lead of the afternoon. Volker left wide open. Karanga, another board. She's stuffing the stat sheet. 8 rebounds already to go along with 9 points. Dunlap may have gotten away with a travel and puts it up and in. Her first basket. the sounds of college basketball returning this year. It is absolutely glorious. Held ball to go back to Troy. Enormous week coming up, both on the hardwood, also on the gridiron. And we've got ACC women's basketball headed your way. The Big Ten ACC Challenge, number 21 Ohio State up at the Dome, 8 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday, right here on ACC Network, also on the ESPN app. One app, one tap. That'll be a fun one. And all those games we mentioned, Iowa-Duke, that's an ESPN contest. And see Caitlin Clark on the road here at Cameron Indoor. That's just must-see TV.
Absolutely, and I'm eager to see how Iowa responds. They've been on a break, a COVID-related break, since November 17th. And will they be able to keep up with this up-and-down pace of Duke?
Jade Williams with 4, lead back to 9. Elbow J not there, and a foul against Troy inside.
Duke has put their foot on the accelerator, push and tempo. This time it's the big Jade Williams running coast to coast for the easy 2.
Tell me what it's like if you're Kara Lawson, and we asked her about the chemistry of this team and everything that she's charged with doing right now, with so many new faces, personalities, players with so many different levels of experience, and you try to blend it all together before league play gets underway. You're undefeated, so obviously off and running, as Williams now has 6, but not easy to orchestrate and to just bring everybody together, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's why Duke was picked where they were, even in the ACC, because you see the parts, but will the sum be greater than those parts? Because we know what these young ladies had done at their previous schools, but how does this fit under this system, under Kara Lawson here at Duke? Who's going to be the ringleader? Who's the selfless one? Everybody's got to have a role on any team. And so it's still early for this Duke team. They're obviously playing extremely well right now. But as they continue to be tested, I think more and more of this culture is going to evolve. More and more of the chemistry will evolve.
Steal by Taylor. And Celeste Taylor coming off a career high in the assist department in that comeback win against Appalachian State. She's going to have to be the glue that kind of holds this thing together, I would think.
And honestly, when I referred to her as a Swiss Army knife earlier, that's kind of what I meant. She does a little bit of everything for them. It's tough for her not to be on the floor when Duke's playing at their best. As she grabs the rebounds, pushing tempo yet again.
Gets it back, little give and go. Put back Williams. Jade Williams cleaning the glass. 5 rebounds and 8 points. 35-22, halfway through our second quarter. Turnaround, Karanga, 13 and 8 now. Boy, she's good.
And right now, you almost just want to everybody clear out. Let's just go one-on-one in the low post between Williams and Karanga.
Williams with position, comes up short. Jada Walton the rebound. Troy an open look. Balagoon. Taylor. Celeste Taylor. Day Wilson with the unselfish pass there.
You talked about chemistry for Duke. It's on full display.
Yeah.
They're making the extra pass. Everyone knows where everyone is. It's high percentage basketball right now for Duke.
4:16 remaining. And a first half. Coach Kara Lawson's got to like how her team's playing in the ball movement.
Celeste Taylor spotting up, leading them on both ends. Duke up 14.
Let's talk Cash App. Want to break into Bitcoin with as little as $1 and send it instantly with ease and no fees? You can do it with Cash App because Cash App lets you do more with your money.
Unjunk your sleep at Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale. Right now, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase, up to a $499 value. Or save $300 on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses and get a $300 instant gift. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the perfect bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm.
Chelmas Karanga for Troy, getting it done. 13 points, 8 rebounds, an efficient start.
Or she came in averaging 13 points an entire game. 13 points in only 14 minutes here in the first half. She's done it from deep. She's been a beast on the glass. She's had a couple of unorthodox moves, but the young lady is very confident on the offensive end right now.
So I'll ask you this question. If you're Shayeann Rigby, year number 10, veteran coach for Troy, you start trying to run more plays for number 2, try to get her going a little bit. You see the rest of the team. It's been a struggle.
I actually asked her that question yesterday. Hey, someone's got a hot 10 or you need some points. And a little bit of it's situational, but she likes her guards getting downhill because she believes when the ball gets in the paint, whether it's a score for the guards, it's forcing rotations for her bigs, hence Karanga on the glass.
Harris inside, gets the bounce. First hoop for Harris, lead is 12.
I think Harris has such great touch around the basket. It's shocking to me that this is her first season within this system because she does so many good things on the offensive end.
Day Wilson, high ball screen, step back and count it. 14 on the board for number 30.
And Troy went under the screen yet again, and to Day Wilson's credit, she's ready to shoot.
Johnson on the other end, the response. Okay. A little back and forth, 3-point shooting, we like that.
I'm just sitting here with a huge grin on my face because the offense is flowing. These young ladies are not backing down, and for both teams, first good shot, they're ready to score.
See, we got you on board the offensive train because you're like all the other coaches I've spoke to recently. Well, we got to defend, we got to rebound, we got to do all these different things. No, you don't. You got to make shots. You got to make shots. We're seeing that here for both sides.
I am not going to the Debbie Antonelli School of Scoring completely yet, but I'm appreciating how well these teams are shooting right now.
I'll frame it like this. It's amazing when the ball goes in the bucket, how beautiful this game becomes. Karanga inside. Case in point, 15 on the board for number 2.
Well, that is a big dribbling it coast to coast and did a little reverse spin by the perimeter defender to kiss it off the glass.
Her game's impressive. Day Wilson, ultra impressive for Duke. Gordon held in check so far, rejected inside. And tracked down by Finkley. And Taylor's going to shoot 2.
Well, Karanga's loving playing here in Cameron Indoor. Just a little hesitation, spin move, right off the glass. I honestly thought that Day Wilson was going to pick her pocket there. And I think she set up the defender very well and got to the rim.
Fouls called against Sandifer. That's her first. Taylor 10 of 11 at the line this season. Transfer out of Texas, former McDonald's All-American. And the classic announcer jinx in play. Don't forget a men's basketball triple header. It's that time of year next Saturday. Clemson and Miami, Wake and Virginia Tech from Castle Coliseum, then Syracuse against Leonard Hamilton and Florida State next Saturday, noon, 2 and 4 Eastern, right here on ACC Network. And I jinxed her twice with that commentary. Shame on me.
I was going to be nice because it's the holiday season and not call you out.
Johnson from downtown is going to call us out with that triple. She's got 6, Christy.
There is no backing down from Troy. This is the key. We've talked about how quickly they want to shoot, but if you're not used to playing against it, it makes you have to stay engaged at all times on both ends of the floor.
Taylor's got 3 assists, no turnovers. Good look inside. Easy basket for Finkley.
And Finkley gets all the credit for that basket because she told the guard where to put the ball because she knew she had the seal to get those 2.
Spin Karanga. Yes! 17. Unstoppable for Troy. Day Wilson, a rare miss. Karanga, the rebound. Already a double-double. 17 and 10. Trojans give it right back. Troy with 7 first-half turnovers. Approaching a minute to go.
And Roy, that is something that assistant coach Carissa Courtney Simmons said to me yesterday, she goes, we need to shoot it before we turn it over. The key, they said, is we got to keep it under 16, and so I think that was one of those situations. Shoot it before we turn it over.
A chance for the Trojans on the road, trailing by 7 with possession. Want to go 2 for 1 here, perhaps?
Well, when you shoot as quickly as they do, they may get 3 for 1.
And a rebound cleared by Finkley. 7-second differential between the clocks. You don't see the 2 for 1 a lot of times in college. Finkley wide open, 45-36, shot clock is off. So Finkley with 6. Robinson will set up the Troy offense. Number 2's probably going to be involved, and she is. Velmas Karanga fouled from behind by Finkley, and that's her first.
Roy, you've got players on both sides who are breathing rather heavily right now because of the pace. But I love that play call from the Troy bench. A little step up for Karanga to try to get another 2.
Trying to catch my breath. This high elevation here at Cameron Indoor. Day Wilson with a rebound. She's got to hurry. Off the double team. Open look. Taylor right before the horn. 9 first-half points for Celeste Taylor. McDonald's All-American, Texas. Certainly going to be talking to her ladies about that at the break. Duke basketball, second half underway. Great you could join us on a Sunday. We got basketball headed your way. We're done here at Cameron Indoor, and it's that time of season, that time of year where you get all these sports happening at the same time on ACCN. And certainly fun for us. Open path, left-handed finish at the rack for DeJesus. Her first basket.
Great job of turning the corner, but even better of keeping the ball extended away from the shot blocking ability of Troy.
And a foul on the floor. Jesus, the guilty party there. That'll be her second.
Vanessa DeJesus just comes off that on ball, sees Karanga coming across, and keeps the ball extended in that left hand and kisses it off the glass.
Troy's made the tournament each of the last 2 seasons, trying to make it 3 in a row. Favorites in the Sun Belt. Karanga, a big reason why. She's got 19 and 10.
You're seeing the explosiveness and just the variety of skills, and a breakdown again, but Duke doesn't make them pay in transition.
Williams missed the chippy. Troy gives it right back. Johnson traveled. 8th turnover for the Trojans.
Velmas Karanga just puts her head down and goes hard to the rim. And no rotation by Duke.
Was it just me, or was that the fastest first half of basketball we've been a part of in like 5 seasons? That was quick.
I mean, it was almost like playing pickup ball where you're first team to 11. But my games never went that fast to 11.
Little make it take it back in the day.
Absolutely, but of course I didn't shoot as well as these 2 teams shot in the first half.
Balagoon off the mark. The rebound by Williams. She was hacked by Robinson.
Jasmine Robinson didn't do the work early enough to push Williams back, and then just gets called for displacing her on that rebound.
By the way, can you show me pick the picker when it happens in the second half?
Absolutely.
Screen the screener is what I call it.
For your South Carolina upbringing, it is known as screen the screener.
Taylor, the step back, silky smooth. Now in double figures. I mean, you analyst types, former coaching types, always talk about it, and I recognize it on occasion. I just want to be able to recognize it more. I think our viewers do as well.
Well, what you want to look for are people who can score well, because the better you screen, the more shot opportunities you're going to get.
Certainly. By the look, Williams transition. Missed it again. 2 layups missed by 25 and White. She'd love to have those back. Lead at 13, and the held ball goes back to Troy.
Well, I love that Williams immediately went to DeJesus and said, my bad. Gave her a high five, because that was a beautiful pass by DeJesus in transition.
Well, don't forget, coming up, the ACC championship game next weekend, the Queen City in Charlotte. The Huddle is back. 6 o'clock. We'll get everything started from Bank of America Stadium. Pittsburgh and Wake Forest in a top 20 showdown. Points will be aplenty. Plus also, don't forget about post-game coverage from Bank of America Stadium. The Huddle. EJ, Jordan, Eric McLean, Coach Mark Rick. Should be a ton of fun. And what a great game that will be. You talk about Sam Hartman, Kenny Pickett, 2 of the best signal callers in the country. Should be a ton of fun. And some new teams in there as well, which I think is refreshing.
It's crazy to think about a playoff without a Clemson, without an Ohio State, without an Oklahoma, and potentially without an Alabama in a couple of weeks.
Balagoon, great defense and the rejection. Backside contact, no whistle. Body James checks back in, 24 in white. And off the screen, DeJesus off the mark. Opportunity now for Troy, trying to be the hang-around team on the road.
The hang-around team.
Trying to teach you a couple things here. That's not much I can do. Your knowledge far exceeds mine. Air ball thrown up by Johnson. Yeah, the hang-around team within striking distance. Trying to keep it close. Balagoon. In and out.
Sorry, Willie, I was going to say, with Troy, this is a team that wants to score 120 points every game. They want 100 shots every game. So down 13 is nothing to them because their metrics are 15 points in 5 minutes.
Inside, a strong finish by Robinson. Lead back to 11, 3 minutes into our second half, and she's got 7. And we talked with Carol Lawson about analytics, metrics, efficiency pregame today, and she talked about, you know what, I can bring in a player that goes 9 for 30 from the floor. Anybody can do that, but that's not what we're about. Lexi Gordon, premier with that efficiency on offense so far this season, over 50% from deep. But she said it's all about shot quality. That's what we're tracking. Open looks. Robinson, the layup, she's got 9.
You're seeing the contrasting styles between these two programs. Troy, they want an open look, and they want to put it up. Whereas Duke is going to work for the first great shot.
Big attempt by Johnson on the way, and she spins it home. 53-45. Jada Rigby likes her ladies' efforts to start this second half. And Johnson now with 9 points, trying to stay in it. And the Trojans out of the Sun Belt doing exactly that to begin our third quarter here at Cameron Indoor.
Say you're looking for the perfect present. You might try looking at the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up a face, as well as a room. Where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place isn't a warehouse store. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their gifts. This Christmas, wrap it in red at Ace and get free assembly and delivery on grills.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Go on, girl. Go on and get help.
Smart dog. With Farmers Crash Assist, our Signal app can tell when you've been in a crash and can send help if you want it. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
4 minutes into our second half, Troy shooting 57%, last 3 possessions efficiency.
Well, it's been the seniors who have gotten Troy back into the game. Tia Johnson with a 3, but Jasmine Robinson getting to the rim, passing ahead, looking for those quick scoring strikes.
All right, so if you're Kara Lawson, what do you do at this point? Your team's kind of scored 6 second half points rather. Go to your spark plug, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that was the first thing I just showed you. Day Wilson's back on the floor, and Troy out of that timeout, extending into some full court pressure.
I wanted to pretend like I came up with that on my own, but I did not. Day Wilson so electric, tying her career high in the first half.
And Kara Lawson was quick to point out, she is a freshman, and who else but Karanga shooting the gap?
Leggett off the bench, leading scorer. Runners off the mark. Body James the board. Well, you wonder if Troy has that one more run to really make this thing a little more interesting. Steal. Hartsfield. Foul. And Taylor got her from behind. Clipped her.
You asked if Troy had a run in them, and if you've got defense, you're never out of the game. Sharonica Hartsfield with a quick pick of the pocket, and then gets fouled on her way to the lane, way to the rim.
So Hartsfield at the stripe. 3 of 4 on the season. chance you'll get one more. Lead trimmed to 7 at 53-46. Big week coming up in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And don't forget about the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Number 21 Ohio State on the road at the Carrier Dome. 8 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday right here on the ACC Network. And also streaming live on the ESPN app. We were talking at halftime. You got Iowa in town here at Cameron Indoor coming up as part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge. How about South Carolina, the #1 Gamecocks, about halfway through December, on the 15th. They'll be up here at Cameron Indoor. There have been some incredible matchups between those two programs here. And let me do this. If you're a Duke fan watching today, I'm putting you on red alert, because here's what happens when South Carolina comes to town. They bust their fans up here to Durham to the tune of not 1, not 2, maybe 3,000 or so. On the road, they're loud. On the road, they're proud. You got to show up for that game to give these Blue Devils a chance. And they've got a chance with a talent. Celeste Taylor from downtown, a reason why. The Gamecocks this year under Don Staley, they may not lose a game. You got to have all of your I's dotted, T's crossed to have a chance against them. Mark your calendars now right here on ACC on December 15th.
Well, I'm going to call it Garnet Alert.
Yes.
Duke fans, because they will come in full force. I think it was 3 busloads the last time they came to town. But I agree with you, Roy. I think this is a Gamecock team that's on a mission.
And a chance for 3. Well, that one spun in off the glass high off the window. And a chance for 3 with Downs connecting.
Well, when you talk about on a mission, Z Downs taking it downtown and kissing it off the glass.
Say you're looking for the perfect present. You might try looking at the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up a face as well as a room. Where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place isn't a warehouse store. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their gifts. This Christmas, wrap it in red at Ace and get free assembly and delivery on grills.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling. You never know when something like this will happen. So let the Geico Insurance Agency help you with homeowners insurance. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere upstairs there's a broken pipe.
Bundle and save even more at geico.com.
This schedule for Kara Lawson's group, we mentioned Iowa, top 10 Iowa, December 2nd. I mean, that's coming up next week. Penn, and then #1 South Carolina, December 15th, right here on ACC Network. Get your popcorn ready for that one. And Blue Devil fans, we need you to show up for that one. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and I'm not going to say South Carolina will go undefeated, because for any coach, you want something to kind of poke at your team about. But I do think South Carolina is that much better this year. Better bench and starters head to toe. And when you talk about starters, you got to mention Caitlin Clark for Iowa.
One of the best on the planet, getting buckets and a foul inside off the offensive rebound. And the Blue Devils going to shoot 2. Kara Lawson, you think about what's coming up. This team's going to have some incredible opportunities to enhance that postseason resume. Already undefeated, 5-0. It's been a great start. There's been some challenges. We mentioned App State trailed at halftime right before Thanksgiving. But you got Iowa and South Carolina coming here, and then the ACC schedule to follow, Christy. That's going to be a lot of fun. One more free throw coming for Finkley. And so many things coming up. We also remind you about 3-day weekend live from Boston, or not live, but recorded. Coming up Tuesday, 7 Eastern, right here on ACC Network. Give you a tour of some of the hidden gems around the conference. Restaurants, great scenes all across the footprint. Downs starting to become more active in an 8-point deficit.
Well, there's
and the Trojans now in the bonus.
Sorry, what I was going to say, there's fast, and then there's Downs getting downhill fast. She is so explosive off the bounce.
So Downs at the stripe, 69%. Check that 83% this season. Out of Moultrie, Georgia, the junior. Chance to make this a 6-point game. Last time we were at that point. About 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Troy's trailed by as many as 13. Actually 15 at 41-26. One more coming for Z Downs, who now has 5 points. And the rebound to Finkley. Wilson held in check in the second half. Fouled here by Bree Harris.
Day Wilson got bailed out on that one. I think the key for Day Wilson is not to get sped up in this game. She can get this challenge shot at any point in the shot clock. There, Harris coming across the body with a foul.
Well, she's just a freshman out of Toronto, but a chance for a new career high with a made free throw here in 2 attempts.
You're not jinxing again, are you?
Well, I mean, I almost hesitate to suggest a career high. I mean, she's played in 5 games. But to do it in the first half is newsworthy. Shame on me again. Who's this announcer guy they brought in?
Hey, Duke fans, I'm going to have Roy lay out, not say a word for this next free throw.
I have ended several massive consecutive free throws made streaks over the year. Or over the years. Wow. Chance to make it a 5-point game, maybe a 4-point contest with a triple. And Leggett rejected. Out of bounds, it'll stay on this end.
Yeah, Leggett's having a really tough scoring afternoon. She's been challenged at every turn. And the key has been she hasn't been able to turn the corner to get a good look at the rim.
Well, think about it. She struggled from the floor. Lexi Gordon only with 5 points so far. In traffic, Hartsfield off the mark. Duke clears the rebound. Day Wilson directing traffic. And she'll get it back. A wide open look. Drains it, and there's a new career high.
Breakdown by Troy in transition defense. 2 went to the ball, and you cannot leave Shayeann Day Wilson open from 3 right now.
17 points, 4 assists. Karanga back to work, the runner. In traffic and the bounce. 21 points for Thelma's Karanga. And that's a career high for her.
Very unselfish play by Duke. The extra pass from Taylor to Day Wilson. And then not to be outdone, Karanga stays on the glass. And Roy, it's that big step. She uses her long limbs to get by the defender and get to the rim.
10 of 13 from the floor. And a big free throw made there to trim the deficit to 7. Dunlap will check in. Amber Leggett goes out.
I love the substitution because it prevented Duke from getting the ball in quick and allowed Troy to set up this full court pressure.
It's kind of like the chess match, coaching within the game, if you will, to try to do whatever you can to gain an advantage. Token full court pressure. Trying to trap Day Wilson. Throw it quickly. And how about Taylor paying it off on the other side? She's got 16.
I like the mentality of Duke. If you're going to press us, we're going to attack you. Great job by Taylor to get to the rim.
Dunlap, double team. Gets it back, turns it over. Off the steal by Volker. Troy gets it right back. Sandifer attacking. Finkley with the foul. And free throws coming again for the Trojans.
And this is that pressure that I was referring to with Troy. They're not letting up. They know one thing. You get a rebound, you run, you push, and they are looking to keep putting points on the board.
Third foul on Finkley. One more free throw coming. Kara Lawson not happy with that last sequence. Second free throw for Sandifer bounces home. 62-55, so back to a 7-point game. Christie kind of hovering around that 7 to 9 point margin for most of this third quarter.
Well, again, Troy substitutes so they can get into this 2-1-2 half-court trapping press.
Duke picked 8th in the preseason poll. All of these transfers, a bit of an unknown, Coach Lawson, and a traveling violation. Rare turnover for Shayeann Wilson, and the 11th miscue for Duke today. You buying Duke in that 8th spot in the conference based off what we've seen so far? Undefeated, being tested today, but Troy probably a tournament team again this year. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think the pieces are there for Duke. I think it's just how this team continues to grow together. I've seen very unselfish play from them today. It's can they minimize some of these miscues, meaning the turnovers. And I think they've done a great job defensively and on the glass, and they're just got to continue to improve in those areas.
Karanga with 24. The lead for the Blue Devils down to 5. From downtown, another triple. Give her 20. Taylor tracks it down. Taylor the step back, open for a moment and makes him pay. Day Wilson with 20, Taylor with 19.
Right now, if you're Duke, why would you take a free throw or a layup? Spot it from 3 as Karanga gets called for the travel.
10th turnover for the Trojans. Hartsfield back in, Robinson checks out. And Karanga, a few times today, she has not made the Blue Devils pay inside. Duke in the midst of a 6-0 run. Taylor wants more. Balagoon. And out of bounds. Back to Troy. (68-57) under a minute to go in the third. Side of the backboard, tracks it down. Inside, Downs again, and a chance for 3.
Boy, I feel like that last possession is Troy in a nutshell. Downs looking to score quick, misses it, but stays with her shot, tracks it down, draws the foul, and kisses it off the glass.
7 for Downs. Missed the free throw. 2 for 1 perhaps. Duke thinking the same thing. Taylor off the mark. And Dunlap found a way to sneak in that rebound and finally clears it. Hartsfield. That would have been big. Shot clock is off. Balagoon ahead. Inside to Volker. Her first 2. And how about the mistake by Dunlap? A late turnover at the end of the third, and Duke will get it back leading by 11.
Well, transition defense hurts Troy again there as Duke makes them pay. Great no-look pass by Celeste Taylor to Volker. And then, unfortunately for Troy, they step over the line trying to inbound the pass, and they get caught.
Chance for 4, maybe 5 quick points. Tapped away from Balagoon. 8.1 remaining. Day Wilson behind the back, a little shake, a little bake, elbow. Desperation, delicious post-Thanksgiving list right there.
Well, I would say this is the pecan pie, the sweet potato pie, the pumpkin pie, the Michigan-Louisville game. That's one I'm eager to see, and then obviously the Iowa-Duke game.
Naz Hillman invading the ACC out of Big Ten country. Jeff Walls will have something designed up specially for her. Tremendous matchup. Blue Devils turn it over, 10 to play. Back inside Cameron Indoor Stadium. Christy, Thomas Cuddy, Roy Philpott, and you see the story for Duke. Celeste Taylor, Shayeann Day-Wilson really have been electric.
And they haven't forced the issue overall. They've been selfless, they've gotten good looks, and they have knocked them down each and every time they've been left open.
Amber Leggett, the rebound. Celeste Taylor clears off the miss. And she was fouled. Third on Amber. And she's just not found a way to kind of get the mojo working. 1 of 6 from the floor, leading scorer. Just 2 points and now 3 personals.
Well, and only 3 rebounds. And this is a young lady who came in this afternoon averaging 5 a game, and a lot of those have been offensive rebounds. Credit to Duke. They haven't allowed her to get downhill off the bounce to get any good looks in the half court.
Day-Wilson pass came in hot. Taylor was bumped, and now a foul called inside against Balagoon.
Well, Duke's run that play twice now where, to quote you, it's a screen-the-screener play trying to get Williams to the rim, but it's been congested, and they haven't read the weak side defense either time.
That was called actually on Taylor. Karanga trying to skip pass. Taylor read it, coast to coast. And fouled by Johnson, she'll shoot 2.
That's just a much too long of a pass that Karanga's trying to commit, and you nailed it. Taylor's sitting there waiting and basically baiting her into that pass. Shoots the gap, and then she's off to the races. Johnson does a great job of preventing the easy 2.
Taylor, 19 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds for Duke.
Swiss Army knife.
100%. All Big 12 freshman team at Texas. Can you imagine coaching today and having to monitor what's happening in the transfer portal and know that that really is going to be perhaps a primary way to recruit players moving forward, because that's what we're looking at. It's a different era, collegiate athletics.
I've had 2 games already this season where teammates a year ago have now played against one another with 2 brand new teams.
Yeah.
And absolutely, it's the day and age that we're in, and I'm all for young ladies, men finding the right fit. I think my issue with the transfer portal is that they can do it in season, because we're talking about creating chemistry and a culture for a team like Duke. How do you do that when players are coming and going within the course of a season?
Dave Wilson, aggressive drive on the right side of the painted area, hacked by Robinson. We were calling a game in football first week of the season, and there was a player that came in from within the same conference the week before the first game that was deemed eligible and then played against that team that weekend, if all that makes sense. So in other words, you're basically transferring as the season starts, and you can play right away against your old team.
Well, let's take Troy, for example. Alexis Dye, their best player a year ago, transfers out to Tennessee. And Shannon Rigby was really honest with her. She goes, I get it. You know, she goes, we're not trying to take players off other teams, but it's just the nature of the beast right now amongst all teams. As you see that she's got a number of transfers on her team as well.
What's up with Duke's free throws so far today? 2 of 12 from the stripe, shooting much better from 3. Balagoon. And the rebound to Karanga, her 13th board. Big possession for Troy. They'll feed Leggett inside. Oh, Glass forced it in. Lead down to 8. 8 to play.
Leggett did the work on the post-up to even get that pass in that high percentage area, and then just muscled it in for 2.
Day-Wilson, step back, count it! 23 for the freshman.
Troy, there are step backs. That was a step hop. She distanced herself so much with that move to create the space.
Karanga and airball, not her game. about 15 feet and in towards the basket.
Well, the freshman, Day Wilson's just feeling it. I'm going to say that was at least about 2.5 to 3 feet. Step back to get the shot off, and the head coach loves it.
Silky smooth.
Mine was truly a step back. And I'm not even sure, like a ruler might have given me my step. That was a yardstick.
So Day Wilson, 7 of 8 from downtown. Here's a steal. And the finish. Johnson. 74-65. I was going to say Day Wilson, 7 of 8 from distance. Came into this game, had 6 threes in 5 contests. And three-point shooting coming in a timely manner. Foul called on Hartsfield.
Decatur getting her with the multiple touch with the hot stove there. But we've said it countless times now, Duke cannot put Troy away. The big why, it's the defense. Johnson picks the pockets and takes it to the other end for 2.
Blue Devils 14 turnovers. Coach Lawson telling us pregame that really has been an emphasis. Going back to the Appalachian State game, first 2 quarters, sloppy with the basketball, and she said, we're just throwing it to the other team. We cannot do that. They know it, we got to be better. And a blocking foul called as Taylor was not given the real estate to complete that jump stop. And Duke in the bonus, and that's a story these final 7 minutes, Christy.
Absolutely, if they can convert. Because as you jinxed them earlier, they've been struggling a little bit from the free throw line. But Roy, I want to go back to your point about the turnovers. Some of that is just, it's early season. It's this team getting used to one another. It's also a team that wants to play at a high pace, a high tempo. And so I do think that those will start to drop the more these players get comfortable with one another.
2 of 13 at the line for Duke. Taylor's 1 for 5. (75-65). If you're just tuning in, Troy was the preseason favorite in the Sun Belt. Made it to the tournament the last 2 years. Johnson draws the personal. Free throws coming for the Trojans. Point in reminding you of that is this team is pretty salty, and they've got a brand and identity that Coach Rigby has built over the course of her 10 seasons in Alabama.
Well, I asked her, I said, at any point, would you change depending on what Duke does? And she goes, this is who we are. We're going to put it up. We're going to go attack the glass. She said, you know, we know we have to win the glass. And the crazy stat for them is a year ago they were 20-3 when they won the glass. This season, and I think this is another team who's getting used to one another. Some new faces, some players coming off injury, but they haven't rebounded the ball as well as I'm sure this team will, especially once they get to Sun Belt play.
Tia Johnson 2 for 2 at the stripe. And the senior out of Phoenix City, Alabama, the booming metropolis of Phoenix City. Have a seat on the bench. You spent some time in Phoenix City, have you not?
I have been one time.
Oh.
I grew up in the north part of the state.
That's a different area.
Some people call that LA, Lower Alabama.
Gotcha. See, now you're teaching me things outside of pick the picker. How about the back door? And a chance for 3. Lexi Gordon.
I don't think Jade Williams gets enough credit for her passing abilities. There, a little Princeton action, give and go. Lexi Gordon cutting back door, getting the pass, and scoring the 2.
4th foul on Leggett. Gordon, the leading scorer for Duke, coming in just 7 points this afternoon. Give her 8 now. 78-67. Duke held a 6-point lead after 10. It's 11-point advantage at halftime. Teams have been even so far in the second half. Leggett needs it. Can't finish. Taylor saves it. Day Wilson. Williams traveled. And Williams hit the deck hard. Appears to be okay. 15 Duke turnovers. And a substitution coming in for the Trojans as Bree Harris checks in. Karango get a breather. So Celeste Taylor, 21 points, 10 boards, 5th double-double her career for Duke. Going back to her time in Texas, of course. Downs has it. In and out with the left hand, Leggett in the offensive glass, and Williams, strong rebound.
Duke's got numbers if they can push.
8 boards for Jade Williams. Taylor an air ball. Williams the rebound, and she was pushed. Foul's called on Bree Harris. It's her 3rd. Johnson back on the floor as Robinson checks out for Troy. And also Z Downs to the Trojans bench. Williams 4 of 8 at the line before this game today, make it 4 of 9. Was halfway through our 4th quarter. Don't forget, triple header of college basketball on the men's side next Saturday. Clemson and Miami, Wake and Virginia Tech, Syracuse and Florida State at noon, 2 and 4 Eastern. Next Saturday right here on the ACC Network, also on the ESPN app. Christy Thomas-Cuddy, Roy Philpott, Cameron Indoor Stadium. Troy trying to find a way to hang around late. And the Trojans turn it over, 79-67. Mentioned the upcoming Duke schedule in December. It gets pretty salty with Iowa. How about a steal in the inbounds? And the layup is good by Hartsfield. Crafty maneuver under the basket. Lead back down to 10.
When Shayeann Rigby's imploring her players to get up and give more ball pressure.
Ball movement. Lexi Gordon. Williams tracks it down in a fresh 20. Jade Williams now double figures on the glass. Wilson, yes, stay Wilson. 8 threes. That is tied for the most ever by a Duke freshman.
One is a second chance opportunity. How and why? Jade Williams on the glass.
And Hartsfield missed 2 point-blank layups. Karango check back in. Day Wilson getting it done.
8 of 9 from 3 for the freshman. Duke up 13.
Say you're looking for the perfect present. You might try looking at the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up a face as well as a room. Where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place isn't a warehouse store. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their gifts. This Christmas, wrap it in red at Ace and get free assembly and delivery on grills.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Now Toronto, Canada stand up. Shayeann Day Wilson, the freshman, 8 threes made today. That ties the mark set by any player in Duke history in a single game, Christy.
Well, what's even more remarkable, she came in after 5 games, only 6 made threes. Today, she's just sized up the defense. They've given her space. She's gotten feet set, and she has felt it from the opening tip.
She's standing on the beach, throwing it in the ocean right now. That's what the basket looks like to her. And the Blue Devils have needed all of those points to create this separation against pesky Troy. Karango off the bench. Shot was blocked by Williams. And the Blue Devils trying to seize control. Christy Thomas-Cuddy, I'm Roy Philpott. Our producer, Katie Bissell. Our director, Chad Lampman, doing a fantastic job today. And great to have you with us here on ACC Network. Just getting started. College basketball is back. Fans are back in action too. the great venues in all the sport here in Durham. Find number 30 and find a way to screen the screener and somehow get her some points. Foul inside, and Taylor will shoot 2.
What Duke does a great job of is they pull Williams up into the pinch, give her a pass, which gives these lanes for backdoors, for dribble penetration. That time it was Taylor taking advantage of the open lane to the rim.
Celeste Taylor, 21 points, 10 rebounds. The double-double. She's got 5 assists as well. See, I'm a player. I'm going into the Thanksgiving break, the Christmas holiday. I'm worried about too much pie, too much turkey, too much time off. And Kara Lawson and all these coaches around the conference, generally speaking, that's not an issue, which I find that amazing.
Well, I think it's just the culture of a basketball player. You're used to not really getting a Thanksgiving holiday. These young players have always had Thanksgiving tournaments.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I think it's the best motivation that you could have as a head coach, though, if you're Kara Lawson. Look who we have coming up. You got to stay sharp. Same thing for Shayeann Rigby. Very challenging schedule coming up with Tulane, Middle Tennessee, and Mississippi State.
I'm already playing Mizzou on the road, and a foul in the backcourt. Mentioned the Blue Raiders on the Troy slate upcoming. Road trip to Tulane. You're familiar with the Green Wave.
Lisa Stockton, her team, sitting at 5-1. I mean, Wake Forest, again, another one of those Power 5 games. And I've been asking coaches around the country as far as this year's schedule, is it a byproduct of last year's COVID schedule? And Shayeann Rigby said, no, I wanted a better seed. And the only way to do that is to challenge ourselves and get some wins against Power 5 teams in the non-conference. She said her administrator asked her, hey, is it too much that you're scheduling? And she said, no, to be the best, we need to play the best.
Taylor's got 23. Amber Leggett just fouled out with her 5th personal foul. Leading scorer for Troy. Jasmine Robinson back on the floor. Taylor with 24 points. Lead at 16, the largest of the afternoon for Duke. And the runner by Robinson. Changed that for the moment. She's got 11. Now Celeste Taylor, Shayeann Day Wilson combined for 50 points and 11 of 14 from deep. Pretty good.
When you have players who are shooting like this, coaches look good.
How did she miss that? That's shocking right there. It's breaking news.
I'm going to blame you, Roy. You set it up. You jinxed her again.
And a timeout called by Coach Rigby. 85-71. Under 3 to go at Cameron Indoor.
Today, I am officially $11,754 in credit card debt.
They, my teaching assistant, turned me on to Tally. Tally gave me a low-interest line of credit to pay off my high-interest credit cards. So I'm getting out of debt faster. Get out of debt up to 2 times faster with Tally.
Are the stars out tonight?
Alexa, play our favorite song again.
Okay.
An undefeated start for Kara Lawson's club. We remind you of the schedule. 2 top 10 matchups here in Durham. Iowa is part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge. And South Carolina, number 1 in the land. Lexi Gordon put the icing on the cake here today. 87-71. Approaching 2.5 to go in this one. What's it going to take down number 1 South Carolina, in your opinion, this season?
I think you've got to be able to take care of the ball first and foremost, because that transition game is lethal for South Carolina. You've got to have some low post presence because of Carmela Cardozo as well as Aaliyah Boston. Honestly, though, you've got to, I'm not saying a perfect game, because there's a window of opportunity in every game, every night. But I have yet to find the true weakness of South Carolina. A year ago, you could say it was the decision-making of the perimeters. I think they've shored that up in a big way. Henderson playing so well at point for South Carolina right now.
I would get the billboards up in Durham right now. I would have people talking about it already. December 15th, circle your calendar. #1 South Carolina in town. We want to hang. We want to have a chance. We want to make a statement with this new roster. But we need your support to do it. Then Iowa, undefeated Hawkeyes. You mentioned the COVID break. Iowa remains undefeated. Duke as well, with both the men's and women's programs. So that's pretty special.
Well, we know Duke's going to live to see another day, most likely with only a minute 34 to go. And I just want to talk more about that Iowa upcoming game, because I think it's hard to have a break like Iowa's had. Now, I think Lisa Bluter is one of the best coaches in the country that I don't think enough people talk about. And when you have a star player like Peyton Clark, you have a chance in any game. But I'm really eager to see how Duke responds from an offensive perspective to attack Iowa in that game.
You saw the banner with Coach K, his last season on the men's side. Be remiss if we did not mention the massive win against top-ranked Gonzaga out in Vegas. It was that 2 nights ago now. And to see how Duke, that young roster, handled Drew Timme, it was nothing short of incredible, and certainly a statement made by not only the Blue Devils but the Atlantic Coast Conference. And a lot of people like to talk about the league. Is it up? Is it down? Well, certainly the top. You got some changeover. Hubert Davis now the head coach at Carolina. Duke fans don't want to talk about the Tar Heels, but hey, things are a little different over there. They'll be different here next season, obviously. But the league ain't going anywhere. The men's and women's side, for that matter. Balagoon a step back, yes. 89-71, 60 seconds remaining. Balagoon with 9. And Jada Walton from downtown.
Troy got lucky to get that steal because there was a miscommunication yet again in transition defense. Unfortunately, can't push tempo and get that 3 to fall.
Blue Devils will get it back. 11-second differential between the clocks. Duke's going to improve to 6-0 on the season. Troy will fall to 3-3 after this one. It's been fun to knock the Thanksgiving rust off. The fellow turkey lover like yourself. Take that, Brooke Weisbrod.
Turkey loving, sweet potato casserole loving. I mean, honestly, Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday, bar none.
Mine as well. The pumpkin pie, Dunlap, rejection. And tripped up. She'll shoot too.
Roy, I love you, but I'm going pecan pie all the way.
Instead of the pumpkin pie?
Instead of pumpkin pie.
I don't know, that's a bit too heavy. Like the pumpkin pie, you can have half a pie.
It's Thanksgiving. What's not heavy?
I mean, you know, pumpkin pie's a little lighter. That would be my argument there.
Do you put whipped cream on it?
No, I'm not a Cool Whip whipped cream guy. I don't need any of the extras. It's extra calories. I'm counting those calories around that time. A little bit.
We're talking Thanksgiving, and you're counting calories?
I mean, hey, we're in TV. You know, we're always counting them. At least I am. Right or wrong, and probably wrong. You were telling me earlier you think Thanksgiving's more about sides now than turkey.
No. That was a discussion at my family's home.
Okay.
That
did you correct everybody?
Turkey's over, and I was like, absolutely not. Smoked turkey with the sides. It's like a team. You need it all. Everyone's got to have their role for the ideal Thanksgiving meal.
Dunlap, the Columbia, South Carolina native, and Dreher High School alum, the free throw. Say that for all the AC Flora Falcon fans out there that know about that great rivalry, the Midlands of South Carolina.
And how do you know so much about that rivalry?
Well, I happen to be an alum of AC Flora. Just one little shout out there. Big shout out to Duke, playing extremely well. 6-0 now, off to a fantastic start. The team that's constructed a lot of new faces and familiar names in the ACC, Big 12, and beyond. Kara Lawson talked about that with us this morning, trying to create this experience on the fly with these new personalities. Not easy, but certainly rewarding after an undefeated start through 6 games, 90-75. And that'll just about do it. With 14.7 remaining. Well, you mentioned it earlier, Shayeann Day-Wilson, a freshman. Remember the name, because as we get towards January and we get league play underway, and this upcoming Big Ten ACC Challenge against Iowa, it's a chance for her to start appearing on some of the college basketball maps out there, if she isn't already after today.
Absolutely. A very dynamic young playmaker for Duke. And I think we're going to learn a lot during these next 4 games about her upside. For right now, it's decision making. She can't get sped up, but we know she can shoot. She can create off the bounce. She sees the floor well, and she's a great defender as well.
91-75, under 10 seconds to go. And off glass, one more attempt, in and out. That'll do it. Jade Williams, the rebound.